beautiful camera operation.
That's good.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're starting. All right, guys. So I'm talking about Group B rally. And you're like, what is that? That doesn't make any sense. What it was, because it only this subdivision of World Rally, which means like it was mainly just Europe because America doesn't have any fun sports. But Group B lasted from 1982 to 1986 because a lot of people died, so they were like, yeah, we can't have this happening anymore. But I found out about this because last summer I started watching Subaru's Rally Team, which rally essentially is like going, imagine your car, okay? Most people's cars in here is like what, 140, 150 horsepower? I mean, Jaden's probably has like 200, his little TC. Yeah, 120, nice. But rally cars have about 500 to 600, and they weigh less than a ton because they're stripped and they just have two people in them. Fun fact, rally is the only sport where you have to have a co-driver because of how dangerous it is. You have a person that just drives the car, and then their co-driver just tells them the notes of the track so they don't die. You know, it's that dangerous. But I got to this because like I've been watching a rally team, and rally cross is like same thing. But basically, rally is a combination of driving on pavement and driving on dirt. And then you also will drive at night and through snow, mud. They only stop racing if there's like lightning. So you're gonna drive for whatever, like through whatever. And the goal is to get from your starting place to where the finishing part of the stage. And most rally races have several stages in them. But that's beside the point. But I got interested in Group B specifically because I watch a YouTube channel called Donut Media, and they make this thing every Tuesday called Up to Speed. So if you ever want to figure out about your car, like know some stuff about your car, get on their YouTube channel. This is not a shameless plug, like I don't know them, but they make really good content. Okay, so what Group B rally was? So basically, it was just like, auto manufacturers would take a car and like make it an experiment and just like send it in because like it needed to be fast, but it needed to be able to handle well. It needed to be able to like take jumps well because like rally is known for jumps. That's what this Audi Quattro. If you've ever heard of that, the Audi Quattro all-wheel drive system was born in this time. I mean, y'all probably don't know about all-wheel drive systems, but you know, it's whatever. So basically, the FIA, which is the little deer thingy up there, it's an Italian, not Italian, it's a French association. It's called the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile. They are like the presidents of like racing, like everything that's not like NASCAR, they make the rules for. So that's why they're important. And basically Group B was like anything goes except whatever a manufacturer would do to that rally car for like the sport. They had to make 200 homologated models, which means they took the race car, watered it down, and sold it to people. So that was like the main rule. But they had obviously like safety rules, but horsepower wasn't limited. So yeah, we got these really sick cars. The yellow and white car is a Audi Quattro. So it's really cool because it has a 5-cylinder engine. You know, average cars, most rally cars had a inline 4, but this one has an inline 5 or a Boxster 4 engine. And then the little Ford right there in the corner, that is a RS200, which is another iconic rally car. It's not as cool, but I'll talk about one of those later. And then we have the Peugeot. It's French, you don't pronounce the T. It's a 205. Those are really cool, most iconic. They have the best handling, horsepower, etc. And then the Lancia Stratos is my favorite one because it's a martini car. Martini cars are cool, and it's also a literal flying wedge. So, Okay. So what made Group B so awesome was like these cars right here. Like all of Group B rally cars are super wacky looking, but they were incredibly fast. So, like these are just cars I found from a Red Bull article talking about the top 5 Group B rally cars. But anyways, on to point 2. So what made Group B awesome was like the cars and the crowd involvement, because like crowds would just be like in the middle of the road, and like what caused a lot of collisions is that drivers would have to like swerve at high speeds and then they'd roll their cars. So like crowd involvement was like got to a point where like they had to ban it because people got hurt and everything. But it's pretty cool because like nowadays there's like a distance that people have to stay away from the track. Things like 40 feet, 45, 40 feet right in there. And then also the track difficulty, because like I said, it's rally, so you're gonna do some dirt, some pavement, there's a lot of curves, jumps, all of the fun stuff. But with all of these elements, you know, the crowds being on the roads, the track difficulties, and the fact that a car that weighs less than a ton had 600 horsepower going to the wheel, kind of was a dangerous cocktail. So basically, manufacturers would rush these cars before they were thoroughly tested, which is another like point that was like a nail in the coffin for Group B. But the big crash that ended everything happened in Portugal on March 5th, 1996. Driver Joaquim, I don't know, it's Portuguese, I don't know speak Portuguese. His last name is Santos, and he was driving a Ford RS200, which is this car. Can you see my car? Oh, you can. Oh well. So the car in the middle, that was taken, that's like from 1986, that's one of the pictures. And that's also where the tree is going through both the engine bay and the windshield. This dude died. But what was worse is that he took out 32 people with this car. So 2 of those were women and children, like 2 children and 1 woman died instantly, and then another little kid died later in the hospital. So that was when the FAA was like, nah, we can't do this no more, it's whatever. They basically continued the rally for the rest of the day, but after that, they stopped it. So, yeah, bad crashes lead to people getting, people dying really is a turning point for people like, no, we can't do the sport anymore, even though it was the coolest thing ever. So, basically, Group B is the ultimate form of rally. It's famous for its cars and crowd involvement, and it had to be banned because of safety concerns and the death toll that kept rising. Thank you.